Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Lori.
We are talking about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 15, Episode number 11, Mind Your Business.
Mind your business.
That's it.
That's what it was called.
Yeah.
Mind your business.
So before we get started on this, I just wanted to mention that I'm sure you saw that Teddy Mellencamp had surgery this week. They found several brain tumors after she was suffering from headaches for several weeks. And she's on the mend. And then they're going to be doing radiation, I think she said, and chemotherapy. So she's in our thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, it's scary for her because she had the skin cancers.
And she's been getting all these scans and all these checks.
Yeah.
It is scary, but it was very nice to see that she was surrounded by her husband was there, her kids were there. I'm sure you saw the video with Kyle and Morgan.
Yeah.
And a couple other friends. Her friend shaped her head, which I thought, how good for you, though. I bet you that's empowering. I mean, as scary as it is, I bet you it's empowering.
It is scary because your hair can grow in completely different than it was before.
Completely different.
Yeah. Yeah. But she's in our thoughts and prayers.
For sure.
I also saw a post, I don't know if it's real. It was from the Reality Report, Real Housewives of Rhode Island.
Yeah, I saw this.
Test filming and Real Housewives of Seattle. Rumored test filming. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who knows about that?
Yeah.
All right. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to wait and see. So we'll start with this one. We pick up with Sutton, Kyle, and Garcelle are all in Augusta, Georgia. Kyle came back from running and she got lost because I guess the directions Sutton gave her were from the opposite starting point or something. But she's talking to Sutton's mom, Reba, and Avi comes in and says, we're going to need you to get dressed for brunch. And Reba's like, I am dressed. And he's like, oh, it's a
you don't want to fluff?
Yeah.
He tells her to fluff up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Avi has zero tolerance for Reba.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah.
So after Kyle's talking to Reba, she goes up and she starts talking to Sutton and she tells her that, she thinks Reba's a really strong woman. And she tells Sutton that Reba admitted to her that she's not a nurturer. And Sutton's like, she said that? Like she was surprised to, realize that she knew that she wasn't a nurturer.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of an understatement.
Yeah, but it's interesting that she said it to Kyle.
Yes.
But was so offended when Garcelle brought something to her attention.
Well, Garcelle was telling her what she needed to do. There's a difference.
That's that. We'll get to that, but that's definitely the problem right there. You hit it on the head, Wendy.
Yeah. So
I don't think Reba fluffs.
No, Reba does not fluff.
She is not a fluffer.
And I will tell you, one of our listeners I don't know if you saw it, but she's commented on the episode you guys did last week, and you were talking about, Garcelle and Reba. And her take on it is that, she's a strong Southern mama, and they don't mince words. They say what they mean, and they mean what they say. So, when she got that scarf, it was like, okay, she's not a scarf-wearing person. It's that simple. Like, that's just not who she is, and she's not going to pretend to like something if she doesn't like it. That's just who she is.
I can see that, but I believe that New Jersey and New York mothers are the same. We don't mince words. We say it like it is, but we can also be gracious when somebody gives us a present.
Yeah,
and not rude.
It's
she
not
was
that
literally rude about it.
It was
exactly. And aren't Southern people supposed to be more polite than us Northerners, us Yankees?
Well, yes, we're not getting in the fight with the South. Let's move on.
I'm just saying, aren't they supposed to be polite?
This is not a North-South thing. It's so funny. But she starts talking to Sutton about her dad. She's like, when did you notice that? And she said, well, she noticed when she was about 25 or 26, she got a call that she had to come home because her father was starting to break down, and they had to put him in the hospital 2 times. And she said they physically had to force him in the car.
Yeah.
Which when you hear her tell the story, that he was in a very depressive state, he was self-medicating, he was on sleeping pills, but there was no therapy. They didn't go to therapy back then. There was no talking to figure out what was going on. He was never really regulated. He was taking sleeping pills and alcohol. And of course, that's not going to turn out well.
No.
No, but it is interesting that her mother is a therapist
Yes.
and
Yes.
didn't. I mean, listen, I don't want to make it like she didn't do what she was supposed to do. I'm not saying that because I'm sure
Well,
this woman has a lot of guilt. But it's amazing to me that he married a licensed therapist, but didn't seek, cognitive behavioral therapy.
This
Being
is
that
the
he was
thing.
married to somebody who did it for a living.
Right, but this is the thing. We don't have a timeline of when her mother actually became that therapist.
Right. We don't.
Well,
I was
that's
thinking
true.
this. I was thinking the exact same thing.
You know,
We don't
because-
know.
True.
Usually women back then really stayed home with the kids, so maybe this is
Sure.
something she pursued later in life, and then that was my thought process on the whole thing.
Yeah, maybe as a
Just-
result of what happened with him, she
Possibly.
did that. Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
I'll be honest with you, though, because I was thinking the same thing as you were, Laura. Like, we don't know when she became a therapist, but when later in the episode, when she does have that conversation in the kitchen with her mother said, you are a strong professional woman, just like me. And Sutton said, well, you gave me a hard time about it. I wanted to stay home and raise my kids.
Right.
So again, we don't know what the timeline is, but we did get that bit of information towards the end.
Yes.
Well, maybe it was a situation where her mother looked back and maybe through guilt or who knows what, thought that if she had changed the narrative, maybe it would have been better. Like maybe she's looking,
Yeah.
maybe she did stay home with her children, and then maybe she looked back on it and thought that maybe that's something that she shouldn't have done, that she should have.
Right.
You know what I'm
Maybe
saying?
she just,
So-
you always want
Yeah.
more for your kids.
Right.
So yeah, who knows?
Right.
Maybe she felt like she gave a lot up and she didn't want Sutton to do the same.
Right.
Yeah. The other thing was that Sutton did say, which I thought was interesting, is that he would always verbally say, I want to kill myself.
He said I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I heard her say
He
that.
would
Yeah.
he would say it all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was interesting how she said, in her confessional about her dad's non-treatment.
Yes, that's what she said. It was just jointed with his treatment, or should I say his non-treatment.
Treatment, yeah.
Yep.
It's amazing because now if somebody verbalizes that, you are
Yes.
taken.
Because of, we've been through this now. Like, we're a little bit more educated with
Sure.
mental health. It's not as frowned
Sweep it
upon.
under the rug.
Right.
Yeah, sweep it under
Yeah.
the rug, yeah.
And rightfully so. It's just
Right.
it's so different.
It is totally different. So then they go to brunch, and Avi offers to make Reba a drink. He's making her a Bloody Mary, like true to Reba fashion. She doesn't like the ice. Even later on in the episode, Sutton offers to get her mother a drink, and she's like, I live alone. Like, she's not used to someone getting her a drink. Like, she's just used to doing her own thing.
But
And
again,
Yeah.
don't they like hosting in the South is like a big thing? Like, don't you know that when you're at your daughter's house and she's hosting something, she's going to offer to give you a drink? Like, to me, her saying to her, like, I live alone. Like, okay, but you're at my home and I'm hosting and I'm going to offer to give you a drink. I don't know. Maybe her mother wasn't 100% comfortable being on camera.
Oh, no, I don't think that was it. I think that's just who her mother is. She showed us who she is.
Yeah, it's just like snide remarks. Like, what are you doing?
But it's not snide to her. That's what I'm trying to say to you. To her, it's not snide. This is all she knows. This is all she knows.
Yeah, it's very
I don't
cut
want to
and
hang
dry.
out with Reba.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
no.
I feel like Reba and I would not hit it off.
No.
So she's 82 years old and she still works as a therapist. So, like, what does that tell you?
Yeah.
She's going to just keep doing whatever it is she's going to do. Like, no one
Yeah.
is telling Reba what to do. They're not telling her to fluff up for brunch. They're not telling her to have ice in her Bloody
I
Mary.
was living for Avi telling her to fluff up, though.
That's great.
Because he really wanted to be like, fuck off. But
Right.
that was his way.
Right.
And then Garcelle has the one-on-one conversation with Reba, and she said, she would love to hear from you that you are proud of her and that you love her. And that's when Reba said, I don't think that's any of your business. I don't want to insult you, but I think you have no clue. And listen, it's her relationship with her daughter, and Garcelle only knows what Sutton has told her. And to be quite honest with you, the more I see of Reba, the more I see Sutton. I mean,
Absolutely.
when
Well,
Sutton
I mean,
cut off,
Garcelle says that they're like
yeah,
the same person. Yeah.
when
I don't think it was Garcelle's place to say those things to Reba. I
no,
really don't.
Well, like I said before, the problem, and like Wendy said before, the problem arose when she presented that conversation as it came across as Garcelle telling Reba what to do.
yes,
Right.
That's not how you work. If she would have worked it and just told her how Sutton felt, and there's ways to massage that
Sure. But
conversation.
listen, Reba's no dummy. Reba would see right through that.
Yes, she would, but she also, I don't think, would have gotten her hackles in such a rise if you weren't telling her what she needs to do. If you were just trying to, basically, if you would just try to make her feel bad, you would have did much better than trying to tell her what she should be doing.
right, right. And then Garcelle said, "You're right. I have no clue. I haven't lived with you guys. I haven't grown up with her. I was
Right.
just coming from a place of a caring friend," which is what she was doing, but it
Yeah,
really wasn't
absolutely.
her place to do that.
Right. But I did agree with Garcelle when she said that it could be that maybe Reba was jealous of the relationship between Sutton and her dad.
Oh, most definitely.
Because
Yeah, I agree.
you're married to someone who suffers from depression, you're not getting the best of them. So he may have been giving the best of him to Sutton and her brother,
And not to
and then the
Reba.
mom wasn't getting the best of him, but because she was his partner, and that's who gets the brunt of your feelings.
Yes.
So, not
Yeah.
in a bad way she was jealous, but maybe it was like, damn, like, why can't I get, that piece of him too?
Garcelle did bounce back pretty quick in the conversation. Now I was like, okay.
Yes, she did.
You
I
didn't
thought
let-
she handled it very well.
Yeah, you didn't let Reba's chopping off of your ankles affect you too badly. You came back with it. You were like, okay.
Yeah, because then Reba said, "So are you a messenger?" And Garcelle said, "Maybe I am."
Right.
She did. I agree. She definitely, listen, Garcelle's a smart woman. She's a
Mhm.
She
smart
sure
woman.
is.
So then Sutton says she wants to take the ladies to her childhood home. Now, this I was shocked about. Reba was like, she wants no part of this. Like, there's people living there. What do you mean you're going to go in that house? Like, what is wrong with you? I mean, I can see where she would be taken aback by this, especially since we know that's where her father killed himself,
Yeah.
in that house.
Yeah.
And right before Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. December 23rd, to be exact. Like,
Yeah.
like that's a lot. That's
Yeah.
a lot.
And I think that Sutton does, and she even said it, I think that she harbors some resentment in regards to her mother because,
Her mother was home when it happened.
yeah,
And they've
there
never
was
had a
loaded gun in the house with somebody
Right.
who has obviously, vocalized that he wants to kill himself.
right. So I think she does, in some way blame her mother. And maybe that's part of Reba's, part of the distance that's
Yeah.
between them is
Yeah.
because Reba knows that.
Right.
And so
I mean,
maybe,
Sutton said it. She said, "I have resentment about this." And I don't blame her. But I mean, if she really thought inviting her to go on camera as a surprise, I mean,
yeah, that was not brilliant. No.
no. I mean, in what world does that happen? So then we see Erica calls Dorit and they're FaceTiming and the cabana's getting a facelift. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention this. When you guys were talking about the cabana and the price,
Mm-hmm.
I think the $36,000 was his fee only. It's
I do
usually
too.
it's only it's usually a percentage of what the merchandise is. So
I totally agree with you. That's
Yeah.
his fee.
yeah, that's his fee. That's just his fee. And that was probably a discounted fee, to be quite
Right.
honest with you. Yeah, that's just his fee. All right,
He
back to the
said, "I'm
cabana.
going to give you $1 billion
Yes.
deal for not a bit." So he probably got 10%. So the whole thing was probably $300,000.
Yes. It's always a percentage of what the
Which
stuff is.
that
Yeah.
house in that location is over $1 million. Even though it's
Yes.
a tiny house, it's over $1 million. So $300,000 to renovate isn't.
Right. Well, it's not always a percentage. Some designers just have hourly fee plus they make a percentage. So it just everybody works differently. So who knows?
Yeah.
But okay.
I don't think that guy works for cheap though.
No.
No. I mean, he's got a book and he's, no. He's
When-
making bank.
Erica was walking down her hallway, the black and
Huh.
white hallway. Did you see her shirt matched her hallway?
I
Oh,
didn't
that's
notice
funny.
that.
No, I didn't notice that. But it's looking good. I mean, it looks good.
It looks good, and she seems like she's feeling good.
Yes.
Which is nice to see Erica, because she's a whole vibe, Erica. So we want her to feel good.
We do want her to feel good. And then we see Ozma's talking to her daughter, Lael, about where she's going with Keely. And she asks her about, if she has another child with him, is she going to be okay with that? And her daughter thinks about it for like a half a minute and says, yeah, I'm okay with that. And then Bose asks, like, why are you okay with that? And she's like, well, I'm not going to be here. So I want you to, grow and have more in your life. And if you're going to have
Share a
somebody
bond with another baby.
if you're going to have somebody else in your life, then yeah, go ahead, And
Yeah.
I thought it was a great conversation. I do still am very, very puzzled by the whole thing. They haven't said I love you to each other yet.
And they're together 8 months.
Right.
So I feel like I don't know. I mean, Eric and I definitely said I love you. Like, I'm saying at 2 months in.
Well, it's not even that, but you weren't talking about having a baby with them.
I was not.
That's what
I
I'm
was-
confused with. Not that they didn't say I love you.
I was
but
24 and 25 and living my best life.
Right.
I was not talking about having a baby.
And when I get it, she's 48 and, her clock is ticking. I totally get that. But how can you have this conversation with someone that haven't said I love you to and he hasn't said it back?
Well,
Yeah.
this was my take on it. My take on it is when you are of a certain age and get to a certain point in life, I think you kind of know when you're clicking with somebody. And I think that in some way, those words can just be words. And I
Yeah,
think
but you still say them. I mean, listen, I say it to Eric every day. We say it to each other every day. I don't love him every day. He annoys the F out of me.
well, listen,
But I
This is-
say it because
this is
that's
the
what
thing.
you do.
you're a lot nicer than me because I don't even say it every. Like if I'm not loving
yeah,
you,
no, we do.
then I'm not saying no. If
Yeah,
you're
you always
really
gotta
annoying me,
love you,
no,
love you.
no.
Yeah, but the other thing is she had that like catfish situation. Like she just had a bad situation,
Yeah,
right?
you're right.
Like, and now you're in this one and it does appear to be good, but we're just seeing surface stuff. Like, how are you talking about
And,
having a
like,
baby?
Did he know she was going on the show? Like, if I were on one of these shows, I would be so and weren't married, and dating, I would be so skeptical.
Yeah, that
get
somebody's trying to get their airtime off you.
Yes, yes.
Like Sienna, Southern Charm. That's another story.
Well, we got to talk about that.
We will.
So
That
maybe
was
it's just
hard to watch.
Yeah.
maybe it's just a situation where she's just like thinking to herself, you know what? I'm gonna just keep throwing this shit at him and just see if he's gonna skedaddle, kind of a
See
thing.
how he handles it.
Yeah, maybe that's her play.
Maybe she
she's
does
like,
think he got with her because she was going to be on the show. And she's like, let's have a baby. Just to see
Yeah.
what he'd say. She's like, what can I say that would scare the living shit out of him?
"Get out of
Let's
you."
have a
So
kid.
yeah. So maybe that's her game. I don't know.
I
But
don't
I-
know, but they are still together. And, we've got to be at least another 10 months out from when this was filmed, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I
did
wonder if they've said it yet.
Yeah,
Like, we need an update.
maybe it
Yeah.
came out. I did like how when she was speaking to her daughter that she said to her daughter, use any words.
Yeah.
Yes, I like
I
that
just
too.
thought I was like, oh, look at you. Very good.
Well, because the camera's on, so she probably thought her daughter was going to be a little reserved in how she answered. But
Yeah.
by the way, her daughter is gorgeous.
Yes.
So beautiful.
Yes.
So she was probably like, just say whatever your feelings are, we'll deal with it. So just
Right,
say
whatever it is,
Don't
is
worry
it?
about the cameras.
Right. So then the ladies, they get to Sutton's childhood home and they're going to go inside. So Sutton's good friend knows the owner. So that's how they arrange this to happen. And we start walking through the house and Sutton says that's where the last place she saw her dad alive was in that room.
And that room was very interesting, wasn't it? It was a very cool room, and he designed it and built it.
Yeah.
It's his man cave.
Yeah.
I thought it
Yeah.
was very gracious of the homeowner that they
Yes.
said to Sutton, welcome home. I think that
Absolutely.
was really very, very, very sweet.
I did too. I did
Yeah.
too. I did too.
Yeah.
And I just want to put it out there that residing somewhere where someone has passed away is not an easy thing. I feel like it's got to be just a tad easier on like the mind fuck level when somebody that you love like passes away in an accident or in the hospital. When they pass away in your home and then you have to continue living there, it's really it's just a whole different level of fucked upness.
You mean when your own family member passes away in a home that you live in, not you buying a home that somebody else passed away
Right.
in?
No. I'm
Got it.
just saying,
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
when you have to be in that place day after day after day after that happens, it's just weird and it's just difficult. It's just adds a whole nother layer.
Even not living, just having a family member that passed away in a home or didn't pass away, but pretty much passed away, going back to that home, not the
Right.
home you live in,
Right.
but a home
Right.
you have to go back to.
Right. Like after my mother passed and I had to stay at my parents' home because it was COVID and you couldn't travel.
Yes.
Like every morning I got up and went downstairs. And that's where my mother passed. So I'm just saying, it's just something to think about. It's just a whole nother layer for Sutton, after having the whole thing, having to put her dad in a car to take him away and always talking about killing himself and the depression and then doing it in the home. And it's just it was a mess for her. It was really tough. I just give her a lot of kudos for even going back to that home. And I think probably in the end, it'll be really good for her.
Well, she said it was the last step on her healing journey and she wanted to say goodbye to him. Like that was the purpose of this trip to the house. And I think, I felt like after she was there, I felt like she got what she went there for, and I'm glad that she did it. If this is what she needed to do to kind of say goodbye to him and, move on a little bit, I'm glad she did it.
Yeah.
She said she was daddy's girl. And she,
And, when she was talking about that's another thing I certainly resonated with. And when you have somebody really close to you that passes away, how she talking about how she has regrets, like she should have sat down for 5 minutes with her dad. And that's another thing that's very hard to escape. Someone passes away. Even though certain things don't even necessarily make sense and that really that person truly knew how you felt about them, but still, you just always have regrets.
Sure.
But it doesn't even make sense because even if you could have done those things that you regret not doing, you still, if they passed away, you still would have felt bad and came up with more regrets because it's just how the human psyche works.
Right.
It's true. And certainly with suicide.
Yeah, it's that
and like drug overdoses.
Yes.
Like these, there's not much anybody else can do. But before we go on, if anybody is, suffering with depression, there are two NAMI, NAMI. It's the National Alliance on Mental Illness. You can go to that website, or Cully Strong, which is very close to our hearts. You could check out that website if anybody's suffering from depression.
Yes, and I will confess, I did cry. At this episode. And
of course.
Spoke to our neighbor. I was just like, it brought up a lot
of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Boz was saying how she wants Keely to say, I love you first. That's one of those things that made me kind of think like maybe she's just like throwing bombs at him to see if he's going to continue along the minefield.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's possible. It's very possible.
Yeah, I don't know.
It is possible. But man, like at that age, like who gives a shit? If you feel like that, just say it. No?
That's how I feel. I feel like life is too short. But
absolutely. Like I'm pretty sure Eric said it to me first, but I could have said it to if he didn't, I would have said it to him first. Like,
I have no idea who said it first.
I was only 20. I was 24 when we started dating.
It was a long time ago, Wendy, right?
But I remember where we were.
You do?
I swear to God, we were in the kitchen at my parents' house. Yep.
All right. We'll have to ask Bill because even if he doesn't remember, he'll come up with some date and time that it happened.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'll go with it because I have no idea. I'm like, okay, sounds good to me.
I still love the fact that neither you or Bill can remember what your wedding song is.
We cannot remember our wedding song. Yep.
Fucking hysterical.
I know. Stupid.
So I think it's funny. At least you're both on the same page. At least like one didn't forget and the other one,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, they're equal.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
then
so-
Dorit says she spoke to PK and everyone stops. Like, well, wait, how did that go? And she said,
Yeah.
well, he just starts talking like they're friends, like nothing, like nothing had happened. Boz says it sounds like a trick.
And I wasn't even thinking it, but when she said it, I was like,
Yep.
does kind of sound like a trick.
It's a trick.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a trick.
He's getting some
says-
good advice from somebody.
Erica says you need to be on your toes. You need to, don't fall for these tricks.
Yeah, like he's just trying to calm her down so he can make the first move.
Absolutely.
I think Erica said that.
Yep. Yep. Then we see Kyle FaceTimes with Kathy.
Listen, I'm not the biggest Kathy Hilton fan, but this scene had me laughing. How she was FaceTiming and had the phone to her ear.
Kyle said, don't put the phone to your ear.
Like, Kathy was really showing her age in this scene. And I don't know how old she is. That was great.
Yeah, they're just so funny. They really are. I know you don't like Kathy, but every time I see her, she makes me laugh because, first of all, she's totally clueless. She doesn't know the difference between FaceTime, a phone call. She doesn't know a text message from social media. She just doesn't know. And it's not that she's stupid. It's just that she's a different generation. That's all.
Mhm.
Like, she is a boomer. She's literally a boomer.
He is a boomer.
Definitely
I
is
mean-
a boomer.
Yeah.
She's a
the
boomer.
poster child for a boomer.
Right. But
Like,
it's
my
so
parents can navigate FaceTime better than Kathy Hilton.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I mean, my husband can't because he has an Android. He's got an Android. And, he doesn't have social media. So I can
No, he doesn't. Yeah.
still
Good for
relate,
him.
Neither does mine, so mine would be the same. Mine would
Oh,
be
your husbands aren't taking pictures of themselves shirtless on the beach?
No.
Telling
Nope.
you to meet up with them on Valentine's Day?
I was laughing my ass off when I saw that. And I showed it to Andrew today. He's like, oh my God, he's so funny. I was like, no, you got to see what Kelly wrote.
Wait, the best was I showed Tess. She goes, what the fuck is he wearing? A necklace? And I zoomed in. I'm like, what's he wearing? It was
Was
around his neck. I don't know. It looked like he was wearing dog tags, but he doesn't have dog tags.
Oh, that's so funny. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I got to ask him what that was.
I thought that was an old picture. Was that an old picture? He drove up the beach to do that.
Could have been yesterday. It could have been 3 years ago.
Okay,
we don't know.
We just have to tell our listeners what we're talking about because they're going to be...
They're giving no idea.
Yeah, they're going to be confused.
Yeah, I'm
So
sorry. My husband's a whack job.
it was
and took a pic-
Valentine's Day
It
yesterday.
was Valentine's Day, so he posted a picture on my Facebook page of him shirtless at the beach, telling me to meet him at the beach for a swim.
in
In the freezing
February
cold.
And
in
it's
New
cold.
Jersey. In
Yeah.
New Jersey. Yeah. Like 20 degrees.
Brilliant idea.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it.
It was great. It was great.
Kyle tells Kathy that Porsche and Mo are leaving for Europe soon. So that's,
Now, I was under the impression the past episode where Mo was like, I'm taking her to Italy, and her friend. I thought he was taking the girls.
no,
Like-
just Porsche.
No, I thought he was taking her to Europe and going around Europe with her. No, he's taking her. She's meeting up with a tour group, and he's off to Switzerland and then Saint Tropez or whatever his. But I was
Right.
thinking to myself, oh, what a great guy! He's going to take his him and his
Father-daughter
daughter.
trip.
Father,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what I thought. No,
I agree. I thought the same thing.
yeah.
And
And
then-
did you see he broke his collarbone on Valentine's Day skiing
In Aspen,
did.
yeah.
in
He's in
Aspen?
the hospital, yeah. Well, he
now
was.
think back to his social media. Do you remember months ago there was a video of him skiing in Aspen, and there were two women like naked
Oh yeah, I remember
snow tubing with him or something.
that. I remember that.
I
yeah.
wonder if this was that trip.
What?
No, he just broke it now.
It just happened yesterday.
Just
No, but I'm
yesterday.
saying, I'm sorry. Yes. But I'm saying what they're talking about on the show. Was this the trip
Oh,
that-
okay, I see what you're saying.
showed up on his social media with the naked women snow tubing.
I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
just
yeah,
about to say, how many glasses of wine have you
yeah.
had? Like, what?
You know
What are you
what?
doing?
I am feeling a little tipsy because I haven't been drinking that much. So I am on my second glass of wine, but it's hitting. It's hitting good.
Good.
Yeah.
We like it. We like it.
Okay, so then we see Sutton is in the kitchen with Avi, and she doesn't know what is she doesn't have. Oh, she doesn't have what she needs to make. What she's
Yeah,
taking
she
off.
was very specific about what she
Right,
wanted.
right.
I don't know who she sent out to go shopping.
Well, she gave her
Probably.
mom a list, and her mom was not able to get the things that she needed.
So it was Reba. It's Reba's fault.
Yes. Yes. So then Reba comes over to the house, and Sutton's showing her the capsule collection. And, it's her sustainable clothing line. And Sutton's trying to explain to her mom, like, how complicated it is. She's got to send the stuff and send a code to London, and then it all ships from Houston. And then, it's not easy. Reba's like, it reminds me of my ground beef. It's packaged here, but it's made in Cuba. I was like, oh my, like, what?
Why are you buying ground beef from Cuba, Reba? We have farms in the United States. Why are you going to Cuba for your ground beef?
When
Yeah, I
Reba
don't know
said
what she's
that, I
talking
was
about.
like, boy, she is out there. And like
Yeah.
you said, why are you buying your ground beef from Cuba?
Yeah, something's wrong, Reba.
And Sutton says, no, this is not like the ground beef. Like, this is very important because this material, if we don't use it, it's going to wind up in a landfill. And that's not good. The whole reason she's doing this recycled line is because it's better for the environment. And she, wants to decrease our carbon footprint. And so then Sutton offers her mom a drink. And that's when her mom's like, don't you realize I live alone? Reba's like, what time is your flight tomorrow? Yeah. Then Reba's complaining about the ice again. Like, Reba does not want ice in her drinks. Anyone's making a drink for
Not that
Reba,
ice.
they do. Yeah, she does not want the ice in her drink for whatever reason. I like ice in my drink, so.
Yeah, some drinks require ice. Bloody Marys require ice.
I think so, right? So Sutton says she was talking to her brother, John Clark, and she said, like, her mom has, like, no idea of, like, what's going on. He's like, well, like, look at what she does for a living. She's like, yeah, but we're not her patients. Like, she can't therapize us,
Right.
And she says to her mom, finally, I don't think you realize everything that I do or that you're proud of me at all. And Reba says, I don't understand any of that. Why wouldn't I be proud of you? And Sutton says, I guess because you don't say it. And Reba's like, well, why do I need to say it?
Reba said saying I love you is trite.
Yep, that's what she said. She said saying I love you is trite. So that's just how she feels. Like, she doesn't, like, the words don't mean anything. She wants, like, she's there. So she thinks that that's enough.
That's the thing. Like, you can say, actions speak louder than words, but she's not even acting like she's proud of her, acting like I'm not going to say she's not acting like she loves her because
Right.
the bottom line is she's her mother. Obviously, she loves her.
Right.
But,
Right.
I mean, my goodness gracious, Reba.
Yeah, but I
Show
think
some affection.
I was glad Sutton said it, though. She said, I need to
sure.
hear it. I need to hear that you're proud of me. I need to hear that you love me. So then she said, okay, I love you. I'm proud of you.
Right.
like,
I'm
can we move
not a
on?
very needy person. I don't need affection. I don't need the words. But I'll tell you what, my mother says I love you every time we hang up the phone. I say it back. My father doesn't, but that's just him. You know what I
Right.
mean? But my father will say I love you, just not every time we hang up the phone. But listen, I don't need it, but I love it. I like to hear it.
Right.
And well, like Reba said, she's just from a time of, there's not all this coddling going on when she
Wait.
was.
Yeah.
It's just how, you know what I'm saying? I'm not making excuses for her. I'm just saying that's kind of where her head is at. Like, of course I love you. I fed you. I clothed you. I was your mother. So that means
Hopefully,
I
though,
love
now
you.
that Sutton has brought it to her attention and said, this is what I need from you, hopefully she does those things because it cannot be easy at 82 years old to completely change yourself to accommodate your child. But if this is what they're asking for and telling you that they need it, hopefully you do it.
Well, Reba actually said, I have to go back to the way I was raised post UW2. And in those days, like nobody ever told me I was pretty when I was growing up. It didn't matter that was I pretty, was I ugly? You know, you just kept going. That's how it was in those
Yeah,
days.
you were just trying to survive.
Right. She's
That's
like,
the thing.
we would put the baby in the crib and let the baby cry. Like there was no.
Well, I did that.
Well, imagine post World War II. And then that's when Sutton said, well, it's not trite. I don't want to make you do anything that isn't real to you. But what I'm saying to you is that this is what I need. And, Reba said, okay, this is what you need. And then Sutton says, well, I know you don't like traveling. And Reba's like, I don't mind traveling. I was like, okay. She's like, well, I've got this show coming up with the capsule collection. I'd like for you to come. She's like, I'll come to California. And Sutton's like, good. And Reba's like, does that mean I have to sleep in Philip's room?
Complaining about
is that the one?
That's the weird one.
With this weird fish in the room.
Right.
She
Sounds like
called her own
freaking her
grandson
out.
weird.
it sounds like, well, where do you want to sleep? Like, so like that's just who she is.
She must have a guest bedroom, Sutton, for crying out
I'm
loud. $300,000 a month for alimony? Get a guest bedroom.
I'm sure she does.
I'm sure she has a guest house.
Exactly.
But she agrees that she's going to come. Sutton says we need to do better. And her mom agrees and that, that they should be friends and listen to each other, have more of a better relationship. So I do think that although as awkward as it was, I do think hopefully it looked like Reba was getting something out of it. And Sutton at least got to say it.
She said it. So that's, she's good. But Reba said we can do better. We can do better.
Yes, she did.
So that's
she
great.
Absolutely did.
So it all ended on a good note. It was a good trip.
Yeah, it was a good trip. And it was so funny. Then she's like, oh, I'm going to go get the girls. And they're standing there. The look on their face. It was hysterical.
That was so funny.
Yeah, whether that was produced or not, it really doesn't matter because it was funny. It was cute.
Somebody put on social media that picture of the three of them, like, around the corner. It was like, this is the cover of a Nancy Drew novel.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So they make the crab cakes. Her mom didn't say anything about the crab cakes, but she did say the salad was good. So more than likely she didn't like the crab cake.
Well, I mean,
I would have been digging the crab cake. I was
me
getting
too.
really hungry looking at that crab
said
cake.
that her mother made her make crab cakes that Christmas Eve, the day before her father commit suicide.
The day after.
The day after.
The day after. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She burned
So maybe just the fact that Sutton was making them, maybe that was just maybe her mom doesn't eat them anymore because, who knows?
Right. So I thought it was a good episode. Me too. I thought that it was good to see where Sutton comes from. This is what we talk about. This is what we like to see. We like to see these people, what their real lives are like. It makes us understand them so much better.
Yeah, there was no drama.
Right.
There was no unnecessary
just Reba
fighting.
drama.
Right.
Yeah, but listen, that's her mom. And listen,
right.
I mean, no fake drama. Like, Reba is who Reba is, like her or not. So that was good.
Fake drama.
And I think, fake drama.
Right. I think when you think back to when we saw Heather Fancy Pants go back to New York with Gina and we met Heather Fancy Pants' mom, I was like, now we know why Heather Dubrow is the way she is because she is also just like her mother.
For sure.
And I like to see these things. I like to see these connections. They make perfect sense. Like, that's why we watch these shows. I personally don't watch them fight.
No, me neither.
Some people do enjoy that. That's the reason that they watch.
Dana
likes the fight. She's not the only one, though.
And I thought it was really good to, just like with Salt Lake, bringing up the topic of, addiction. And again, with this Beverly Hills, bringing up the topic of mental health and suicide. I think those are important topics. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so, too. So I think we'll kind of close this one out because we have some more things to talk about today, right? We'll do another episode.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Until next
we will start talking about Southern Charm because this is crazy.
Oh, yeah. We're definitely going to end Southern Hospitality and Summer House.
And I'm just going to say this and then we'll leave it. Craig and Paige need to stop talking. they both need to stop talking because Bravo is editing their shows and Bravo is writing the narrative about their breakup.
Well,
They need to
Bravo,
just be quiet and not comment.
Bravo picked up cameras on both shows.
Listen, this is Bravo's new formula.
Yes, it
Since
is.
Scandival. Pick the cameras back up. Bravo is doing this. Bravo is meddling in these people's lives. You sign your soul to the devil when you get on a Bravo show. I'm convinced
Absolutely. I would never in a million
of it.
trillion.
Never in a million years. I'll
Not
talk
for-
about it, but
Not
never
for
in
a lot of
million
money.
years.
No. I think it's like I've said a million times. I think it's a horrible way to make a living.
For
And I would
sure.
never.
You're selling your soul to the devil.
I'll stay home and eat Kraft mac and cheese. I'm good.
Absolutely.
Don't need the paycheck.
Ramen noodles it is for dinner, people.
There
Yes,
you go. And if
absolutely.
Kraft would like to sponsor us, that would be great. Thank
Or ramen.
or ramen. Listen,
Yeah, around.
Eric has the ramen
McCormick's.
hands.
He does. We could even
All right.
bump it up a notch and go for Stouffer's mac and cheese.
we can go for both.
Don't get crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Settle
Take it
down,
easy.
Laura.
Take it easy. All right.
Settle down.
Okay. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.